Hi, how are you doing? This is Rico Banks, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Underground Reggie here on the IMN. Today we have Stormi Maya with us here from the film 2050. Stormi, how are you doing? And say something to the people.
Hi guys, Stormi Maya here.
So, Stormi, for the people that don't know, you're starring in a new film called 2050. For the people who not inform the people a little bit about what the film is about, the background on it, and what to expect from it.
So, 2050 is a science fiction film, and it's kind of a satire of how people have become so dependent on technology and, to the point where they now do not rely on human connection. So in the film, in the future, it's like 2050, actually the year 2050, people now are having relationships with e-mates, with like robots, if you want to call them that. And they're customized to what you want your ideal mate to be. So you can pick out everything from how they physically look to their personality to sexual desires that they might fulfill, et cetera, et cetera. And in the movie, I play the role of Quinn, who is actually one of these robots. And it's quite interesting. And I think that anybody who likes sci-fi or likes anything that's thought-provoking, I think they would enjoy the film.
Okay, so you play the role of Quinn. What is something that drew you to that role?
So the thing that's very interesting about playing a character that's not human is that it goes kind of against everything that you're taught as an actor. So for me, it was the challenge that attracted me to it, because typically as an actor, you're taught to be as human as possible, as realistic as possible. And in this stance, it was the complete opposite.
Okay, so one of the questions that I have for you is, as the viewers, they get a chance to watch the film, there's a part in there later in the film where you can kind of see Quinn kind of develop human feelings and start to ask more in-depth questions. What do you think sparked that for her?
So the thing about it is the robots themselves don't ever actually evolve to having feelings, and they never actually grow to, be human at all. It's just that they are programmed in a way where they are literally customized to the customer, and they will mold themselves towards you. Like, they start to learn you. So through spending time with them, they learn your desires. They learn everything about you, from your mannerisms to what you desire the most from them, and they actually just mold accordingly to that. So it's kind of freaky, because it seems like, like they actually care about you. It seems like they actually have a connection, but the truth is they're just programmed to, be your ideal mate.
So I got another question for you. Do you see e-mates actually becoming a big thing in the future?
Well, I don't think human relationships will ever actually be replaced by those. I see the film as being more of a metaphor of, technology itself, and how kind of we're all behind a screen now, we're all behind a computer, we're all behind a phone, and a lot of us don't actually go out and connect with real-life people anymore. We're just stuck behind our phones. But there are people who do have relationships with, sex toys, like the blow-up dolls and stuff like that. But do I think it'd be common? Do I think it'd be something that will be a regular thing to see? No, I don't think it ever will. Because as the film shows, it never actually satisfies our human, desire to be connected to someone. It doesn't ever fulfill that. And the film kind of shows that would never be a realistic thing, because you will never actually build a connection or a bond with these things. It's just an illusion.
Yes, and illusions can't create happiness. So I have another question for you. If you were able to actually customize the perfect lover, would you actually take advantage of that and dabble within it?
I wouldn't, because I believe when you're with someone that you don't necessarily see as perfect, when you're with someone that has little things about themselves that you might not like, I think it helps you as a person grow. When you're challenged, it helps you become a better person, because if you're just fulfilled for all your desires. All you're doing is feeding your ego, and you're never learning how to compromise. You're never learning how to, shift yourself to make someone else happy as well. And so I think I would never do something like that, because I like growing as a person. I like learning from, someone that's different from me. And I like also challenging my ego and learning how to compromise and, be more patient.
Okay, so upon receiving this script, what is something that drew you to this film?
Well, when I actually saw the casting on Backstage, and this was 2016. It was actually the first movie I've ever auditioned for. Mm-hmm. And, when I saw the role, it more was it had a little description of what the film's about, but it was very vague. And when I saw the character, I was like, oh, okay. For me, what drew me to it is just it's very unique, it's very different, and I like things that are very intelligent. It's an intelligent film. It's kind of like Black Mirror or Twilight Zone. It's things that make you think. And so seeing that really drew me to it, because I was like, this is something as an actor that would really help my career. This will boost my career, to be able to play in a movie that's really deep and that's very intelligent versus just something that's, just a regular rom-com or just a regular drama. This is something that is challenging to most people, so that's why I was drawn to it. Okay,
would you say that you're a fan of science fiction films?
I do. I've always loved sci-fi. That's why I like Black Mirror and Twilight Zone and stuff like that. So I'm a fan of really intelligent, thought-provoking science fiction things, and this hit it right on the head.
Okay, so I got another question for you. If you had to be trapped with any science fiction book, science fiction TV show, science fiction film, which one would it be?
Which one would I connect with, you said?
Yeah, which one could you see yourself okay, I could always read this sci-fi book, or I could always watch this sci-fi TV series or film?
So I am a big fan of the Twilight Zone series, the original, not the remakes and everything, the old school black and white ones. Rob Sterling. I really like the Twilight Zone. I've watched every episode, because every Thanksgiving they have the marathon where they used to play it. I used to watch as a kid, a teenager, everything. And what I love about it is what you initially think it's about, you're always proven wrong in the end. So I like things that I can't predict the end of. I like things that, like I said, make me think. Because a lot of these things, it's like Black Mirror. You watch it, it says one thing, but there's an underlining meaning, there's an underlining moral of the story. And so I like stuff like that. Just like the movie Her. Mm-hmm. This is, the movie Her is very similar as well. It talks about humans and technology and kind of the meshing of those things.
Okay, so going on to other topics, with your career outside of actually acting in film, you actually do music. Can you explain to the people a little bit about your music project that you're working on and things of that nature?
So I've recently gone into the world of music as well. I'm an MC. I'm a female MC. I rap. I do a lot of hip-hop, and I focus more on an older school flow. So a lot of my stuff reminds people of the late 80s, early 90s. And I started doing music starting in around December, but I released my first EP body of work this January 21st. And I'm currently working on a couple singles, working on a full album that I'm planning on releasing during the summer. And I'm also planning on doing a bunch of tours and shows soon. So I've just been really busy with that, but I'm still balancing the acting as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so your music actually has a message. Actually has messages to it. What was something that made you want to incorporate that in your music and go away from the norm of today?
So my manager, he came to me around November, and he was like, "Yo, you should do music, whatever." And I had a couple of people who have actually been in my ear about it, you should do music, you should do music. So I've always was like, if I'm going to do this, it literally has to be an extension of myself. Because all the other forms of art that I do, I feel like I'm just putting on a role. Like with acting, I am not Stormi. I am not putting out messages that I feel. I'm just playing a character. I'm doing a job, I'm doing a role. Same with when I do modeling work. It's, okay, hey, you want me to wear this outfit? Okay. So I was like, if I'm going to go into another form of art, this has to be something that actually satisfies the artist in me. And it has to be something where I can really speak to the world, because music's one of those things where the artist is literally putting a part of their heart and their soul into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, like, you know, you have this sexuality, you have this body that people want to look at and stuff like that. Why not weaponize it in a positive way? You know, it's easy to pull your boobs out, have your body out, and talk about sexual topics or talk about, you know, bang bang, gang life and drugs and cheating and stuff like that. But I was like, yo, why not weaponize it and use it to push my positive messages like feminism and black empowerment and, you know, people just, you know, confidence and stuff like that. Like, you know, so I decided to be an MC, which a rapper versus an MC is. An MC is someone who empowers their people. An MC is someone that spreads positivity. And I decided that if I'm going to do this, I want to leave behind some type of legacy.
Okay, with that legacy, can you actually elaborate on it as far as like what's some of the things that you want to leave behind in the future?
So a lot of my inspirations are like Frida Kahlo or Kid. Like, I love women that are very strong. And they know their sexuality is not wrong. They embrace their sexuality, and as well as shows the world that women can be both. And that's my big message, is that women don't have to choose. You know, we live in this society where it's like, oh, you got your body out, you're hot. And then you have women, oh, the girls who aren't hot, but they're super intelligent, or they're super, you know, entrepreneurs. And I'm a big believer in teaching people that there are no such things as a box that you put these women in. Women can be everything and anything. You can be the most sexual, promiscuous being on earth, but that does not contradict you being an intelligent woman that's about her money or her business. So my whole thing is just empowerment and opening people's eyes to things. So my legacy, or what I would like to leave behind, is the messages to women, especially, like, you don't have to pick. You can be anything and everything. And the messages to men are, do not be intimidated by strong women, and do not try to hold your women back. And you also do not put us in a category of, oh, she's a hot woman, she cannot be anything more than this. So basically, I like to open eyes. I like to shift reality, and that's what I would like to leave behind, if anything.
Okay, before I let you go, what are some of your thoughts on the current state of female rap?
Oh, like as far as other female rappers and such and such?
No, more so of the state of how the female rappers are viewed as opposed to the males currently.
So my main issue with female artists versus male is that it seems like with men, there is no limit, you know, as far as quantity. It seems like with female artists, it's like, oh, well, we have a female rapper. We have two of them. Like, and, you know, and then we'll have two or three main female rappers, and it's like, okay, we're going to pin them all against each other. Versus male rappers, you can have 3 million of them, and people can be supportive of all of them. You know, people don't do the same thing. People are like, oh, I like Cardi B, so I can't like Nicki Minaj. But they don't do that with Travis Scott and, you know, Offset and Drake and all that. Like, no, like, those guys collaborate, those guys work together, and everyone's like, woohoo, I love them both. But with women, it's like you have to either be Team Nicki, Team Cardi, Team Remy, and it seems like, you know, they want to bash against each other constantly. And that's one thing I'm anti. That's one thing I'm against. I'm against women being held toe-to-toe to each other, because we are different and we should be embraced for our differences versus constantly compared. Mm-hmm. Because when I've spoken up about what I like to do as an artist, they're like, oh, well, there's already a female that does that. There's already a female that does this. And I'm like, so what? Let's have 1,000 females that preach about empowerment. Let's have 1,000 females that talk about, you know, black empowerment and stuff like that. Why is there a limit on our success? Why is there a limit on how many of us can make it? So that's one issue I have as far as female artists in the industry. So I feel like one way to tackle that is if the women themselves, we have to start collaborating. We have to start sticking together. And, you know, once you do that, once we're constantly friends, once we're seeing the media constantly together, there's no way to really pin us together. Because how could you be Team Nicki, Team Cardi, Team Remy, whatever, when everybody works together? You know, it's only because we separate ourselves and we allow these fan bases to bash one another.
All great points. But before I let you go, what is one of the things that you want fans to know about the film 2050?
So one thing I want them to think about the film or to look out for the film is, really try to see the underlining messages when you watch it. And because I know a lot of sex and a lot of sexuality, a lot of fun stuff like that, so I know people can get distracted. But actually try to understand the writer's real intentions behind the message. And, also try to enjoy the cinematography, try to enjoy the actual art of it. Because that's one thing I'm going to give director Princeton Holt. Like, he was really big on capturing the art of the film. Like, even with the sex scenes and stuff like that, he was really big on making them artistic, on making them more than just raunchy, like the shooter naked, whatever. No, he was really big on making things look artistic. So I want people to actually enjoy the art of it. I want them to enjoy the underlying messages of it and see it for what it fully is. Because we worked on this project for years, and I've been a part of it for only 2, but they've been working on it longer than that. And I think it's something that could really make history. I think it's one of those films where 20 years from now people are talking about it, and I think it could be a really serious, important film in cinematography history. So I think people should really take time to acknowledge that and enjoy it.
Okay, Stormi, for the fans that may want to keep up with you and your future endeavors and the things that you have going on music-wise, let them know where they can follow you at on social media and where they can find your music.
So you can find my music on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, YouTube, all that. Just search my name, Stormi Maya, which is StormiMaya, and you can find me basically anywhere if you just look up my name. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, Facebook fan page, I'm on Twitter, all that type of stuff, and Tumblr. Just look up Stormi Maya, and all my music's out. So I have another single dropping next week, and I have a lot more music coming and stuff like that, and tours and shows soon. So follow me, and you can keep up to date with all the fun time. So thank you.
Okay, any last messages that you want to leave the audience with?
That's about it. I just want people to give my music a chance as well, because I know a lot of people listen to it and they don't really get it right away. And I think if you actually listen to it, you have to give it a chance. You know what I mean? Just actually listen to it. Like, it's a little bit out there. But that's about it. I mean, I'll grow on people eventually. It's very different, and I'm very unlike anything out there right now, because my style is very old school. It's very 80s, Molly Mall type of style. So, they'll get it eventually. But that's it.
Nah, man, it's actually good, man. I appreciate that coming from a female artist nowadays. It's definitely... It's different from what the mainstream sound of today is, but it's something that older, like how you said, the 80s and 90s listeners, it's something that they can easily relate to.
Yeah, I mean, throughout time, I'll definitely evolve my sound, or I'll definitely, dabble in other types of hip-hop, other styles of rap. I'm an artist, so for me, I'm constantly going to be changing and constantly trying new things. But personally, that's what I prefer to listen to, so that's kind of what I'm more drawn to. But, my fan base will find me. People who like me will find me. That's all.
Hey, Stormi, I appreciate the time. This has been another episode of Underground Reggie, and we look forward to seeing more from you in the future.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.